This is NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Whelen Engineering. Now, talking local, regional, and international NASCAR racing. Here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
The 2019 NASCAR short track season is underway, and that means it's the start of another season of NASCAR Coast to Coast, presented by Whelen Engineering. Here on the Motor Racing Network, Kyle Rickey here in Killingly, Connecticut. Hannah Newhouse joins me once again this season. She's in our Charlotte, North Carolina studios. And Hannah, a great way to start the year. But before we talk about what went on this past week in Central Florida, how was your time on the beach in Daytona?
It was almost hard to come back to North Carolina. It is cold this week. So got to soak up the sun down in Daytona. Didn't quite make it over the short track. It was a last-minute trip to go watch the big races. But we talk about how Speed Weeks down there kicks off the 2019 season usually, but there was racing that never really stopped across the country. You had the Red Eye down there earlier in the season, the Chilly Willy at Tucson, Speed Fest was earlier. So short track racing never really stops. We just pick up here.
So you're saying the modifieds at New Smyrna wasn't one of the big races down there? Okay, all right.
Okay, we can debate this later, Kyle.
Let's recap some of those races that happened before we got to Central Florida and New Smyrna. You mentioned the Red Eye 100 back on the first weekend of January. A big race there that kicks off the short track season every year. Ryan Moore picking up the race win for the Super Late Model crew.
Yeah, and what a great way to start the season off. I mean, you literally can't get a win any sooner than the Red Eye for short track racing. And then go out to the West Coast where it stays a little bit warmer out in Arizona. They had the Chilly Willy, and Michael Scott took home that win. And let me tell you, there were so many office jokes after that was made of why there wasn't a film crew there and why there was no at the camera looks and victory lane. So cool to see a new winner out there as well for the Chilly Willy.
Dane Neeson and Jewel Logan finished 1, 2, 3 at the Chilly Willy. Dwight Schrute was not in the race. 40 cars started that event. And the Red Eye 100, we talked about Ryan Moore claiming the win over Brad May and Anthony Sergi. Mike Skinner was in action on that day as well. He won the Pro Late Model race also over Brad May. A tough day there with 2 second-place finishes. And Todd Stone rounding out the top 3 at the Red Eye 100 back on January 5th. All right, on today's show, Bubba Pollard picked up the Super Late Model Championship at the World Series of Asphalt Racing in the last couple of weeks at New Smyrna. Won 3 races during the event. And Hannah, he wasn't even scheduled to go to that race and the week of racing down there until just a couple of days before it all got underway.
Yeah, what a cool thing for Bubba Pollard to do. We always talk about how he just kind of seems to show up at races. He's trying to do anything and everything he can. And as a short track racer and an enthusiast at that, what an opportunity for him to get down there. And I know everyone was excited to watch him. And then, of course, I mean, you almost can't be surprised that he won this championship down there. I mean, with a great team pairing up with local David Rogers. But Bubba Pollard, I'm excited to kick the season off with him being on this show because he is one of the biggest names in short track racing right now.
He has done it all, and we will hear from him coming up in a little bit. The NASCAR K&N Pro Series East season opener also took place while we were at the New Smyrna Speedway. Derek Kraus picked up the win, and what a night, Hannah. Kind of a bummer on Sunday night that the race got rained out, but to pair the K&N East with the Tour Modifieds, the Pro Late Models, the Super Late Models, it was a great show last Monday in front of a full grandstand. There weren't too many seats to be had last Monday night.
Yeah, if you had a ticket to that Monday night show, you had a night full of action, like you said, with the Tour Mods and then K&N East, and all put on a great show. But Derek Kraus, man, he had his work cut out for him. And there's a great field in this K&N East series this year, and it's all strong rookies. You look at the new DGR Crosley pairings with, you're going to see the Tanner Gray, Drew Dollar. You had Ty Gibbs in there. Colin Garrett with Sam Hunt Racing was giving everyone a run for their money. Haley Deegan starts from the pole after the rain out for qualifying with newcomer Brittany Zamora, who will also be on the West. There was just a strong East field, so a great race that they put on.
We will hear from the race winner, Derek Kraus, here in a little bit. We mentioned already that our show, sponsored by Whelen Engineering this season, a Connecticut-based safety light company that has really embedded itself in NASCAR short track racing the last couple of decades. The NASCAR Whelen All-American Series, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, all of which we're going to cover here once again on this show every week on the Motor Racing Network. During the offseason, we lost the man that was very instrumental in creating much of that relationship with NASCAR, Bill Kurz. Bill was with Whelen Engineering for over 25 years, and much of that time was the vice president of motorsports for Whelen. Bill was 69 years old. It's in his memory that we dedicate this season of NASCAR Coast to Coast, presented by Whelen Engineering.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice, Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Whelen designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and high-powered warning systems for automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Every part of every Whelen product is proudly designed and manufactured in America and is tested on site to meet the toughest industry certifications. On the road, in the air, and around the world, Whelen is trusted to be seen, trusted to be heard, trusted to perform.
Back to NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Whelen Engineering. Here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
And we are joined by a driver that had absolutely zero intentions of running New Smyrna Speed Weeks the past 2 weeks, up until just a couple of days before the start, and he ultimately walked away with the week-long Super Late Model Championship. Bubba Pollard joins us on the guest line. Bubba, welcome to NASCAR Coast to Coast, and congratulations on what was a very successful 9 nights of racing for you down in Central Florida.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, we had a great Speed Week. Would have liked to won the big race at the end, but overall, 3 out of the 6 nights we've taken home victories and walk away with a championship, and just all in all, a great week.
Finished second in the Orange Blossom Special 100, as you mentioned a moment ago, the season finale for the Super Late Models. How did it come together with you and car owner and New Smyrna track regular Dave Rogers? Obviously, just not a whole lot of time leading up to the start of Speed Weeks a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, really. You know, we've really built a relationship over the last couple of years with David and I running both the same chassis manufacturers, and we bounce ideas off of each other, and just we've raced so many years together. And Steve at TM Ranch has also helped us out and sponsored our pro car some. And just hated David was gotten sick and had to have some surgery there, and hopefully he's doing well and all is going to get better. But yeah, just they asked me just 2 weeks before the race, and we put the seat in, and we had a good Speed Week. Just a great group of guys. A great group of guys that work together, work hard. They've been together for 30-something years between David, the guys that work on the race car, and the sponsor at TM Ranch. So great group of guys. I wouldn't have done it for anyone else. They're awesome to work with. Have the best equipment we needed to put ourselves out front, and we capitalized on that and had a great week.
Now, you've had the opportunity to travel all across the country. You've hit both coasts, racing in Super Late Models, Oxford 250, Jacasa. You've been everywhere, but they're, for the most part, one-night races. How difficult is it to run 5, 6, 7 nights back-to-back in late models?
Well, it is. It's tough. It's something I'm not accustomed to or used to with the 35 lappers, and so we really had to, adjust my driving style to get going quicker. I'm more of a bigger race kind of driver that kind of saves my equipment and is around at the end. And we've had to adjust my driving style along with the car. So we had to make the car, fire off a lot quicker than normal and be a lot more aggressive, really, and take chances we normally don't take in the bigger races. So we had to change our strategy a little bit for those 35 lappers. And then, I felt like we really had the opportunity, really had a good race car to win the race on the last night with the 100-lapper. We just started too far back and just not enough caution, and just really wasn't aggressive enough at the beginning of the race to pick up a couple positions that I needed to. So, definitely had to changed a little bit on the race car and my driving style as well. So it was tough for us.
Was the initial goal to go after the championship, or did that maybe come halfway through the week when you realized that this was a realistic opportunity to take home the week-long title?
Well, it was. At the beginning, I always say to win championships, you have to win races, and that's the mindset I go and take, and the approach I take when it comes to winning championships. And the first thing you have to do is win races, I feel like, and the championships will come. So we got the first night we struggled. We had some issues that we had to work out with me getting comfortable in the race car. Got those fixed, and the rest of the week we really had a shot to win every race. And that's all you can ask for, is put yourself in position to win those races. Just give yourself a chance. That's the biggest thing. And then, Brad May had a little few problems there toward the end of the week, and we were able to capitalize on it. And I felt good going into the 100-lapper. It was more my style of racing, that we could gain, some points there on him and everybody, and we capitalized on that.
Now I want to take a step away from Speed Weeks down at New Smyrna. We've talked about how you've ran at racetracks all over the country in some of the biggest races. You like the challenge. You went to Martinsville this past year, ran the late model stock race there. Now you're down at you were at Speed Weeks. Obviously, you've been coined probably the best short track racer right now out in the country. But looking from your perspective, what do you see the health of super late model or late model racing in general right now in the States? Because short track racing is obviously under a microscope right now.
Yeah, it's tough. I've really been vocal the last couple of years about, not necessarily I know what it takes or what short track racing needs, but I know that short track racing needs help, and everyone needs to get together and get involved and put the fans back in the stands, get something to get the fans excited for. We need more racers, and more people showing up to the racetracks. And there's so many things to do nowadays besides racing and when you're growing up. But, times have changed and racing has changed. I don't know if racing's changed, but the people going to the racetracks changed. So we need to get them involved somehow. The young local guys need short track heroes. Growing up, I had Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, those guys, and that's what I feel like the young generation right now is lacking, is a short track hero. That's why you don't see many, NASCAR. You don't see a lot of young fans. Hopefully, they can get the young fan back involved and make the sport bigger and better. I try to do everything I can to support short track racing, and whether it be late model stock or Martinsville, that was a great event for me, and just racing all over the country. I love racing. My family loves racing, and that's what we do to have fun. So hopefully, we can get some things turned around in the short track community here, and we'll all work together and to make this bigger and better.
You have found, no doubt, a lot of success in doing so. Last year, winning the Canadian Short Track Nationals at Jukasa. You won the Oxford 250 in Maine, a former winner of the All-American 400. What is not on the resume that you would like to add to the resume as a big race, a big short track event in this country that you would like to take the checkered flag in, other than the next one?
Yeah, we like to win them all, but the Snowball Derby is one of the biggest short track races of our time, and I really want to win that. But going to Martinsville last year was really big for me. I knew Martinsville, the late model stock race, was big, but I just didn't realize how big and how prestige it was until I went. That's definitely on my bucket list to win some late model stock races and to win the Martinsville race would be huge for me in my career. Also, when I want to go run some wheel and modified races, things like that. We're going to go to the Milk Bowl this year up in Vermont, so looking forward to that. Just a lot of anything I can climb in, try to win races. Dirt races. We're going to run a lot more of that this year as well. So we got a big year planned, and we're excited. The Winchester 400, those three races right there are on my bucket list, and we're going to try for all three of them again this year, and hopefully it works out for us.
Just everywhere. You never know what racetrack you're going to show up to, and if Bubba's going to show up with some kind of car and race, and you talk about Snowball Derby, and we all talk about it. Is this the year that he's going to get that win down at the Derby? But correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it Noah Gragson that gave you the nickname Redneck Jesus at the Snowball Derby?
Yeah, Noah's a he likes to joke around a lot. So he's definitely got one up on me on that one, because that one seems to have stuck around. But yeah, we were getting ready for driver introduction 2 years ago at the Snowball Derby, and he thought he was going to be funny and cute, and we had a little fun. We've had fun with it. A lot of people like it. Some people don't like it. But yeah, it's been neat, and have a little fun.
And on that note, Bubba Pollard, thank you for joining us, the 2019 Super Late Model World Series of Asphalt Racing champion down at New Smyrna the last couple of weeks. Thanks for joining us, and best of luck to you in 2019.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, that is Bubba Pollard. You never know where he will pop up, and wherever he does, there's a pretty good chance that he will be in contention for the race win. More coming up after the break.
Wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Whelen designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and high-powered warning systems for automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Every part of every Whelen product is proudly designed and manufactured in America and is tested on site to meet the toughest industry certifications. On the road, in the air, and around the world, Whelen is trusted to be seen, trusted to be heard, trusted to perform.
O'Reilly. When it comes to safety, nothing is more important than your vehicle's brakes. If it's hard to stop or you hear squealing or grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake parts you need from trusted brands like Brake Best and Brake Best Select at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brakes from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Back to NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Whelen Engineering. Here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
New Smyrna Speedway this past 2 weeks also included the New Smyrna 175 for the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East, a very competitive race that saw 7 lead changes among 6 drivers and 6 different teams represented in the top 6. And coming out on top at the end was Derek Kraus from Bill McAnally Racing. He joins us now on the guest line. Derek, congratulations on the win, and thanks for joining us here on NASCAR Coast to Coast.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Qualifying rained out for you guys, so you had to go on practice speeds. You started 16th last Monday night. How difficult was it to get through the field early in that race? Because obviously this was a far from easy win for you guys.
Yeah, it was definitely challenging. It was we struggled, to be honest with you, we struggled all day on Saturday during practice, and then Sunday all morning we struggled a lot. And I was a little bit worried because we didn't get that mock run in before the rain came. So then we started 16th, and I really didn't know what to expect going into that race. And then after the first 25 laps, I knew right away that I had a pretty good car. And then my spotter Freddie told me right away to just save the stuff for the end of the race, and that's what it did. Helped us at the end.
That spotter of yours, Freddie Kraft, also a spotter for Bubba Wallace in the Cup Series. Good voice to have in your ear. But for those who don't know, while you did just win this K&N East race, you're actually a K&N West regular. This is your 3rd year with Bill McAnally Racing, going back again this year to contend for the K&N West Championship. K&N season doesn't start for another week or so, or the West season doesn't. But how much more confident are you going into that West season where you're chasing that points with a win under your belt?
Yeah, for sure. That win definitely helps the team with momentum and confidence going into the West opener in Las Vegas. It's a different track. It's dirt, so you definitely got to take a different mindset into that racetrack. You have to stay patient, calm the whole night. A lot can happen just because it's on dirt, and we're not used to that. So it's definitely different. It's challenging, but I enjoy the challenge.
And to bounce off Hannah's question from a moment ago, 4th in the championship standings a year ago, a great season for you guys, a 4-win season last year. What was the big takeaway from last year and maybe even the off season that you can adapt this season to possibly contend for that championship?
Yeah, like I said, this year we just got to be more consistent. I feel like if we didn't win the race, we had a DNF or something happened throughout the race. We ran out of fuel twice last year, and we just got to finish in the top 5 as much as we can. And, of course, there's going to be those unfortunate nights, but, of course, we got to just bounce back and finish well in the next races.
Now, if we look at the K&N West field this season, while you're only 17, you're actually more on the experienced and veteran side of it. You've got your teammate, Haley Deegan, who's entering her second year in the K&N West season, newcomer Brittany Zamora, also your teammate over at BMR, but you've got Trevor Huddleston, who's got only a year. You've got Jagger Jones, who's a newcomer. So at only 17, how does that make you feel to be one of the veterans in the series in some weird way?
Yeah, it's different to look at it that way. My third year, you definitely learn year by year, and I feel like that helps coming back to the series because you learn the stuff the year before, how to save your tires, how to manage your race better. And I feel like coming back my third year, that'll be a big step up that I have on the other competition.
Both of your teammates, Haley Deegan, Brittany Zamora, also were with you at New Smyrna Speedway. How's the chemistry beginning to form with especially Brittany, who just joined the team this year, and along with Haley as you go into the new season?
I think the chemistry will be good between all three of us. We can bounce stuff off of each other during practice and how our cars were, and we can definitely give each other advice and tell each other what we could do better, how we could do something better, and I feel like that helps having a teammate.
For the first time in a long time, there's actually a guy on a race team that is outnumbered by his female teammates. I'm really liking this scene. So that'll be a cool story to follow. But Derek, looking forward to watching you out on the West season. But we've talked about how you made your Camping World Truck Series, now NASCAR Gander Outdoor Truck Series debut last year at Phoenix, I believe. Your 18th birthday is coming up. Are we going to expect to see you in the Truck Series sometime soon, or do you really have that focus honed in on the K&N West Championship?
Yeah, we got a few races planned out for truck season this year. All the shorter tracks, of course, because my birthday isn't until September 1st, so it'll be later in the season. So we got a few of the short tracks circled on our schedule for the trucks, and we're looking forward to them races after how Phoenix went.
All right, well, looking forward to seeing you in the Gander Outdoor Truck Series garage. And, of course, the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West Series opens up next week at the short track, at the dirt track, actually, at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Best of luck to you next week. We'll see you out there, and thanks for joining us here on NASCAR Coast to Coast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That is Derek Kraus joining us, winner of the New Smyrna 175 this past week at the New Smyrna Speedway in Florida. Coming up, the Modifieds were also in New Smyrna. We haven't really talked much about them. That field included a top 10 finisher in the Daytona 500. More on that after the break.
Whelen designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and high-powered warning systems for automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Every part of every Whelen product is proudly designed and manufactured in America and is tested on site to meet the toughest industry certifications. On the road, in the air, and around the world, Whelen is trusted to be seen, trusted to be heard, trusted to perform.
O'Reilly.
When it comes to safety, nothing is more important than your vehicle's brakes. If it's hard to stop or you hear squealing or grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake parts you need from trusted brands like Brake Best and Brake Best Select at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brakes from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Back to NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Whelen Engineering. Here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
The Tour Modifieds raced 5 nights, part of the New Smyrna Speed Weeks down in New Smyrna, Florida, and we saw 3 different winners. Doug Coby picked up a race win, Ryan Preece picked up a race win, Matt Hirschman won 3 events, and Chuck Hosfeld won the overall championship. Another healthy field, Hannah, of Modifieds. However, one driver that we didn't see there, last year's Modified Tour champion, Senor, he was about one of the only big names that we didn't see participate.
Yeah, we saw a lot of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour there with Timmy Solomito and everyone, but Bonsignor was nowhere to be found, which was surprising, but it was cool to see that there was multiple different winners. You talked about it a little bit earlier. We had Ryan Preece, who showed up, was down there making his Daytona 500 debut, and still went over to New Smyrna Speedway, ran the modified, won, and there's a video actually that I just got a kick out of on the NASCAR Home Tracks Twitter account of the night that he won, his crew. And it's the most anticlimactic celebration ever, but it's just a really funny video. Yeah, over all together, it's super funny. So you can also check it out on our Twitter, which is now NASCAR MRN Coast to Coast. Check it out, follow all of our stuff. But yeah, that video's up there. But Tour Mods at New Smyrna always put on a good show.
MRN Coast to Coast. Find us on Twitter, also Motor Racing Network on Facebook. Our goal this year is to really be weekly racetracks each and every week. When we're not at the national tracks, I'm at a short track, Hannah's at a short track. We want to bring you closer to the action. You mentioned Ryan Preece, Hannah. How big is that for short track racing in general to have a driver of his caliber do so well in the Whelen All-American Series and in the Whelen Modified Tour? Now is a full-time Cup ride, and I think the entire short track world was cheering him on Sunday night, finishing in the 8th position in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, social media was out of control. And then the coolest thing to be was I was on the grid for the 500 on Sunday, and the people around Ryan's car, I recognized a lot of them because his short track people and the friends within the modified or someone that's watched him, at local short tracks, they came out to show their support. And that's something that we've talked about. Someone needs that short track hero or that person that they've watched at some point in their racing career to be in the Daytona 500. So that's cool. People feel like they have that personal connection. And Ryan's got a great following, whether it's modifieds or just short track racing in general. So what a great finish for him and for short track racing. I mean, that's awesome for it all together.
A lot of people talking about Ryan Preece post-race and watched his video that he did in the car as he was leaving the racetrack, had close to 40,000 views just within an hour of him posting it. Hannah, week 1 in the books. Looking forward to a great 2019 season here on NASCAR Coast to Coast.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it and getting out to that warm weather this next week out in Las Vegas for the NASCAR K&N West opener on dirt. So I will see you guys out there and looking forward to bringing all the coverage of short track racing this year.
Can't wait. I will join you at the dirt track next Thursday night to kick off a busy race weekend at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. For Hannah Newhouse and producer Craig Moore and Brian Yesowich, I'm Kyle Rickey. We'll see you back here next week on NASCAR Coast to Coast on the Motor Racing Network.
NASCAR Coast to Coast has been brought to you by Whelen Engineering. For more NASCAR Coast to Coast episodes, go to MRN.com or your favorite podcast provider. NASCAR Coast to Coast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.